dog.
John Wick strikes a wall with an SUV. He exits the car, stumbling, covered with blood and wounds. He applies pressure to a gastrointestinal injury. He pulls out his phone and watches a video of his wife, Helen, on the beach. While he crouches to the side, John sags and closes his eyes. Several days before, John awakens to a cloudy day. He has flashbacks of the time he spent with Helen, his wife, before she passed away in his arms. Lately, she had suffered from a disease that ultimately took her life. The day of her funeral arrives. John's old acquaintance approaches him to express his sympathies. After the ceremony, that night, a delivery arrives for John. It's a small beagle. John finds a note from Helen. She wrote to him that she has made peace with her death and now wants John to find his own. He takes the dog out and looks at its collar, which has a flower on it, leading John to realize Helen named the dog Daisy. Daisy rides along with John as he drives around in his Mustang. 3 Russian mobsters, including ISF Tarasov, the son of crime boss Viggo Tarasov, stop for gas at the same time. ISF approaches John's car, compliments it, and then inquires about the asking price. "It's not for sale," John replies. Later, Daisy wants to use the restroom as John gets ready for bed. As they descend the stairs, John is confronted by 2 shadowy figures. One of them strikes him in the head with a bat and begins thrashing him while Daisy whimpers. One of the men approaches her and breaks her neck. The attacker who knocks John unconscious is revealed to be ISF when he removes his disguise. Later, when John awakens, he walks over to his deceased pet and strokes her head. ISF takes John's car to a shop run by Aurelio. Aurelio immediately recognizes the car and demands to know where ISF got it. ISF brags about stealing the car and killing the dog. Aurelio punches ISF in the face. ISF storms out, saying he'll take the car somewhere else. Later, John comes by the shop and asks if ISF was there. Aurelio confirms it and gives John his name. That night, Viggo calls Aurelio to ask why he hit ISF. Aurelio replies, because he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Viggo simply replies, "Oh." Meanwhile, John enters the basement with a sledgehammer and starts breaking the floor apart. He uncovers a cache of gold, money, and weapons. ISF and Viggo discuss the situation at ISF's home. Viggo strikes his son twice in the solar plexus to discipline him and remind him of the man he has wronged. Viggo tells ISF that John Wick used to work with him before he met Helen and retired. John was known as the Boogeyman, or more accurately, the one you send to kill the Boogeyman. To settle the matter, Viggo contacts John, but John cuts him off. Viggo then sends a team of 12 hitmen to John's house that night to kill him. John dispatches them all with relative ease, fighting off the last few before stabbing the final attacker in the heart. A police officer knocks on the front door. John greets him by name. The officer asks if there's been a noise complaint and whether John is back in the business, referring to the body visible behind him. John replies he's just sorting some things out. The cop wishes him well and leaves. To clean up, John calls in a special cleaning crew he's worked with before. They seem to know this won't be their last visit. To conduct further business, John stays at the Continental Hotel in Lower Manhattan. He meets with Winston, an old friend and the hotel's manager. When John inquires, Winston tells him that ISF is at a bar called the Red Circle. John enters the nightclub, where ISF and his friends are partying. ISF enjoys champagne and music at a posh Russian bathhouse. John first murders one of his thugs and enters the club's basement. When they see John, he starts firing. ISF flees. John kills every hitman in his way, but ISF escapes in a getaway car. One of Viggo's men wounds John with a bottle in the club. John goes to the Continental to have his side stitched up. The doctor warns him that if he exerts himself, the stitches could reopen. John says he's covered for the painkiller portion of his recovery. Marcus climbs to the roof across the street and watches through a sniper scope as John sleeps. He sees someone arriving in the mirror and fires a warning shot. It's Perkins. John dodges as she fires at him. She tells him Vigo has raised the contract to $4 million if she kills John inside the hotel, violating its rules. They fight. John eventually overpowers her and offers mercy in exchange for information. Perkins reveals that Vigo keeps most of his wealth in the basement of a church. John knocks her out and leaves her with Harry, an associate. John visits the chapel. After killing the guards, he forces the priest to reveal the vault. John dismisses the female workers and sets everything, cash and records, on fire. Perkins escapes by dislocating her thumb and kills Harry. Vigo learns of the fire. Despite killing many of Vigo's men, John is eventually knocked out when an SUV slams into another. He's taken by Vigo's men. Vigo questions why John would go to such extremes over a dog in a car. John explains the puppy was a final gift from his dying wife. He warns Vigo that if he doesn't hand ISF over, he'll die. Vigo leaves John with his men, who try to suffocate him with a plastic bag. Marcus, watching from the building across the way, kills one hitman with a sniper shot. John kills the other. John later tracks and attacks Vigo's convoy. ISF is hiding in a safe house in Brooklyn. Vigo, feeling desperate, gives up his son's location. The place is heavily guarded, but John kills everyone and storms in. ISF tries to flee again, but John catches him and finishes him off. In retaliation, Vigo and Perkins torture and kill Marcus for betraying them and failing to kill John. John finds Marcus's body and sets out for revenge. He finds Vigo trying to escape via helicopter. He rams into them with his car. Vigo orders Avi to kill John, but John rams Avi too. Vigo tries to push John's car over a ledge, but John escapes. They fight hand-to-hand in the rain. Vigo tries to stab John, but John drives the blade into himself to gain leverage and break Vigo's arm. He then pulls the knife out of his own stomach and stabs Vigo in the neck, leaving him to die. Returning to the opening scene, John is still bleeding.